Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Breaking Bells. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Breaking Bells. Our final day in this quest to get 4 people on the show. We did it. We're finally here. We have Caito and Charlotte joining us this week, and then, as always, Holly. But I wanted to do something a little different, or not different. We started this thing last week, and we kind of wanted to continue the trend. Our weeks in Animal Crossing. Our week in Animal Crossing. So, who wants to go first? We'll just kind of talk about what your week was with. Charlotte, anything big happened to you this week? And it doesn't have to necessarily be Animal Crossing, but Animal Crossing related type stuff.
So the biggest thing really is I've just finally finished off my villager houses, because I did a big build for the neighborhoods. So it's got 2 separate neighborhoods, and then each one's got a garden that's kind of themed similar to their houses or their personalities and things like that. So I finally finished building those, which just took me far too long.
Yeah.
So that was good. So that's done. And I built a little wood chopping area. But Island's slowly coming together now, team. Slowly getting there.
I like that.
Slowly.
We're team now. We're a team.
Yeah, we're a team.
Yeah, we are.
Pro team.
Pro team.
Yeah.
What about you, Holly? How's your week been? Well, okay, wait a minute. I want to say this. Congratulations, because as you see this, it'll be a week removed. But Holly is now a Twitch affiliate.
Oh, do you know what? Thank you. It was such a slog because I got the average viewers in. I got the, because it needs 3.
That's the hard part.
That's like my boyfriend, my mum, and my mum's second account. Do you know what I mean? So it's just but it was just actually clocking the days in, and so this week I've streamed for 20 hours. Tonight it will be up to 23, 24 because I'm doing a villager hunt, and so that's really, really exciting. Apart from that, in Animal Crossing, I've started drafting my Disney areas of my island because it's going to be Disney, Ghibli, DreamWorks. There's going to be maybe a Marvel area, Marvel and DC, and a Harry Potter area.
Harry Potter?
So a small Harry Potter area. It's not going to be very, very big because I want the main thing to be the Disney and the DreamWorks, because I'm building Shrek Swamp and all that. And last night I drafted out Mulan's where she cuts her hair. I've drafted out that scene in the game. And what I'm planning on doing is drafting these things out and then moving them. I'm not going to decide where things go until I know that I can execute them and I know the amount of space they take up. So, but apart from that, we've just got to 3 stars, did all of that. So this week's been kind of hectic, to be honest, with all that kind of stuff. But that is my week Animal Crossing, which it's been really fun. I've really loved this week.
Awesome. What about you, Caito? How's your week been going?
Yeah, so for a long time I was in kind of a rut with this island for whatever reason. I just, I built my entrance, I built my museum, and then I was like, I do not know where to go from here. And then the other night I finally was just like, okay, I'm just gonna start building something and hope for the best. That's how it normally goes. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just start building stuff, but all my days are running together. I can't remember if this was this week or the end of last week. It doesn't matter. But I built another little villager neighborhood. And then once I did that, I was like, okay, now I'm inspired to do more. So then I decided to decorate in front of my house. I made a little fall area. Aww. And then I decided to take on the huge task of designing my flyover. So I think most people probably just decorate their island and then whatever's in their flyover, they just go with it. It just is what it is. But I wanted to make sure mine was really pretty. I wanted a bunch of waterfalls and cliffs and stuff like that. So I went to Emily's Island and flew back. I've just been flying to anyone who's online. I'm like, hey, can I come fly to your island just so I can fly back to see what my flyover looks like?
Oh my god!
I think, right?
That's so funny.
I think you should be able to plot in your flyover, like your flight route.
Yeah.
You should
That
be
would
able
be
to like
good.
plot that
Yes.
in.
Flight
It
pattern,
could just be
yeah,
like a
I
line that you move, but
Yeah.
like just so you could pick which area it flies over.
agree. Right,
It'd be kinda
right.
cool.
Yeah,
Kind of cool.
that would be
Yeah.
cool.
It's been a big task, though. It's
yeah.
like, that's a big space to terraform.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
it's because it's a wide swath.
Mhm.
Of
Right.
Yeah.
I actually got upset this week playing Animal Crossing. I realized finally that I have catered to the content creating, and I have not really played Animal Crossing the way that I've done in the past. And it's really what it did. It was the change of months, and I realized how many bugs and fish I have not caught.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
So many.
And I am like, normally I am on top of it where it takes me 1 year to collect everything. I realize now that in order to fill my museum, I would either have to time travel back, which I'm not going to do, or I have to wait an entire year, which I will do,
Yeah.
to fill my museum out. And that bothers me really badly. Like, it didn't bother me until the day, it was the final day of August,
Yeah.
and I looked at the list of all the bugs leaving, and I was like, and it was like 8 o'clock at night when I looked at that list. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
I literally have changed the way I play this game, and I like am bothered by that. Like, it really,
Yeah.
and it's something dumb, and it probably, people might not be able to relate to it, but like, I had always taken pride in finishing the museum as quickly as possible. And it wasn't, and I guess Nintendo's kind of to blame for this because of the fact that they took away the fact that like the gold fishing rod and the gold net, they break now.
Yeah.
And I always, and not only that, like I used to push to get them because it made fishing easier. It made,
Yeah.
now these new rods that they have, the outdoorsy stuff, it's almost works similar to a gold rod. And
Yeah.
what people don't realize is in the previous games, if you threw the gold rod anywhere in the vicinity of the front of the fish would automatically turn to it.
Yeah.
The outdoorsy kind of does that a little bit, where they'll kind of get right on track to where they got to go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's changed for me, and I'm not. Something in me doesn't like it, and I guess it's just because it's the rhythm that I've always played.
Yeah.
Where it hit me, and I'm like, dude, I used to like wake up at like 4 a.m. and just fish. I would wake up in the morning and just fish. I don't do that no more. I used to go to bed late. Like, I would pick, like, one night I'd go to bed late and like fish late into the night, and then a couple days later, like on the weekends, I'd wake up really early, and then I would fish all day, like I'd go through the whole morning and fishing. I lost the vibe for it, and it hit me this week that like I'm upset about it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is it's a weird take for the game. Like, I'm curious what you guys like. Have you felt like you've played this game differently than previous games?
Oh,
or?
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Yeah, like completely. I mean, you know, for me, like I have a similar thing with the museum. I've not caught all the bugs and all the fish now for months because it's just been. It's difficult, I think, when you do create content because you're always thinking, well, what else can I do? What else, you know? And everything, because you want to share it with your community, you want them to see everything. You want them to see every single aspect of it because they know your island, they know what you're doing, they know what you're trying to achieve. And I just feel like, do you know what? I had a similar moment when I realised it had been about a week and I hadn't time travelled at all in that week because I was just doing my dailies, like getting on and just doing whatever. And at the end of that week, Stitches turns around and says to me, like, where have you been? And they all said that. They all said, where have you been? I've not seen you in a while. And I was just like, but I've been here, but I just haven't spoken to you guys because I've been so focused on like either building something or like, and then whereas before the villagers were, I'd talk to them so much to the point where they got upset because they'd have the little like swirly thing like around their head, like when they're really burnt out. And like, I'm not doing that anymore, which I guess is a good thing, but also that's just how I used to play it. You know, I used to talk to them constantly and play games with them constantly. And like now I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't spoken to my favorite villager in a week. What's up with that? Like, yeah.
Crazy, isn't it? I literally like started calling myself out though every month, because every month I do these videos like, don't forget to catch these because they're disappearing at the end of the month.
They're so helpful.
And then like as I tick through them, I'm like, I have not caught hardly any of these.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest takeaway too. And then for me, I felt like also, you know, we'll move whatever direction at this point, but like the Nintendo, the Mario Direct stuff, like, oh my god, like, it makes me now like this could be, I'm not gonna lie, this could be the first thing that makes me move off of Animal Crossing.
But I feel the same. I think like, I mean, especially with, you know, I love 64. I've said 64 I'm going to play to myself. I'm not really going to play that on anything. But Sunshine and Galaxy, I'm going to be all over that like an absolute rash. But on the 18th is going to be my first stream. It's going to be my first stream that's not Animal Crossing. And I'm going to be dressed up as Mario. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. But it's going to be like so different. And when you create content, you wonder how that affects, you know, because the Animal Crossing hype train is still very much full steam ahead. But this is really going to be the thing that makes me go, oh, well, I have been playing Animal Crossing for like 6 hours a day, but now I've got stuff to do on Sunshine. You know, I've got stuff to do on Galaxy 64. I'm so buzzed. And I'm excited for the break. I am excited for the break.
I'm really excited because I haven't played really any. I haven't played Galaxy. I haven't played Sunshine. I didn't play, what's the other one? 3D World. So I'm excited because they're all gonna be new.
They're
to
all
me,
good. I would definitely say, like, for me, I've played Sunshine so many times that I am really excited to play it, but I'm also thinking about Galaxy, because I think Galaxy is the one that's really different. You know, you've got this like gravitational pull. It's like, it's incredible.
It's
and I
so
think
good, man. Oh my
isn't
God.
it? I mean, I wish they had done 2 as well. I think that's probably going to be coming, but just anyone listening, watching this, be ready for Mario Galaxy to rip your heart out into a million pieces and chuck it on the floor, because
so good.
Are you guys getting physical or digital?
I've just gone.
I bought the physical.
Oh, I bought the digital one.
I bought the physical for the collector because I have I have the 20, which bothers me so much that they really didn't go in deep with this. Like I expected to have like a collector's edition, whatever.
Me too.
Like because for the 25th anniversary, that was on the Wii, and that was a red Wii. It came with All Stars and like all that, and like they did nothing for this. So
they did nothing.
You know, I mean, I say they did nothing, but meanwhile they had a 20-30 minute direct of all this stuff.
Imagine how cool a red Switch would be, though. Like an all red Switch. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think that, and Caito just, you know, she decided to take a dump all over it, was Super Mario 35. I feel like that could potentially be like the big thing for streamers if it's done properly. It's got to depend on how it's done. Number one, it can't be super laggy, but I know that's gonna kind of be dependent upon how many people are playing it at once. If they allow, like as a streaming person, if they allowed me to open up a room and let viewers join the room, and then once it's full, we could populate it to finish out the rest. Oh my God. Or just the ability to even just play, if I could play with friends.
Just know that they're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's the same.
Don't say that.
I would love to play like, I would love to play like all of these games with, I mean, Mario Sunshine doesn't have
3D
like
World.
any kind
I
of
think
multiplayer.
3D World, they said
3D
it was
World,
online multiplayer.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
okay.
3D
I'm really
World-
game for that.
3D World will be the big one, I think. That'll be multiplayer
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But the reason why I think Super Mario 35 will be different is this. It's set up very similar to Tetris 99.
Yeah.
And Tetris 99 allows you to now open up rooms and allow your friends to come play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they might have been like, okay, let's push. I'm hoping they would have
Use
pushed
that
this
same.
in, and said like, hey, it's the same similar model. Let's go with
Yeah.
it.
So they'll let you. Okay, so for Tetris, they will allow you to
You
have
can,
as many as you want up to the nine.
You can-
however many
yeah, you
players.
can
Is it
bring
99 players? Or
you could bring a
whatever?
bunch of people in, and then
Yeah.
I mean,
like
if
you
they
could-
did that, I mean, even especially for you, like you would have a full room
I'd have
of all of
35.
your viewers. That would
Yeah.
be so cool.
That would be
Yeah.
It'd be
amazing.
epic.
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun.
So it'll be a lot of fun no matter what we do ultimately with it all.
Yeah.
Because even if it was a matter of like me playing by myself and then like a few people, even if you're playing, because think about it, like obviously the idea is Fall Guys, right? But
Yeah.
Fall Guys, even though you're together, you're still separate because you can't see nobody's name. You know what I mean? Like you don't know who anybody
Fall Guys,
is.
it's a very non-multiplayer, like a non-social multiplayer game. Like you don't really get that sense of like, oh wow, we're because then if you get disqualified, it takes you ages to cycle through to the next to like who you're actually playing with.
It's like pretty chaotic, the whole thing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
it-
it's fun.
So
But
I
Bobby was
love-
going out the first round every time anyway, so.
Oh well,
that's
there we
not
go.
true. You're lying now. Don't even like. I almost won the one. I literally just missed by like a
He
second.
did.
So
I literally never win the egg one. The egg one stresses me out to no end when you have to get the eggs.
Yeah, I hate things.
Yeah,
Um.
it's tough.
So I think. So for me, like it's crazy because the Mario Direct. I couldn't. And we'll talk. We can get into this too. I didn't necessarily do a reaction to it because my day was so jammed up. What was going on? That was my first return episode of Nintendo
Yeah.
Talk with Ryan, which, man, I had an absolute blast recording that with him. If you guys,
He's so nice.
oh my god, he's fantastic.
Yeah, it was such a good episode. It was.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did.
If you missed it, it's available. The replay is available on the channel. Ryan for the win. We brought him on, and basically it's a show that I had done for a very long time. I did it for 3 years solo by myself, and then eventually I brought Toby in, and Toby and I created our own mold with it, and that became a show. And then when Toby took a leave because he couldn't podcast anymore, I brought Pat in, and Pat filled it until Nook Talk started. When I left Nook Talk, it left a hole in my schedule where I was just like, hey, I could bring something back. And a lot of people were basically messaging me as well, going like, man, I miss your voice in terms of like a long drawn out, just your opinions. When they say voice,
Yeah.
they mean like opinions. Not my actual voice. But they're like, we miss hearing you talk about certain things. We need something in a long format. Because obviously we do
Yeah.
Breaking Bells, but it's like a 10, 15 minute clip
Yeah.
each day.
Little taster each day.
So I was like, what? And I was going to do something, a totally new show. But I was just like, everything kept circling back to like, you've done this show before. You've done it before. The format's there. Go with it. So, it's real simple. It's like, what's your first Nintendo console? What's the first Nintendo console you ever bought with your own money? What's your favorite Nintendo console? And then it's kind of like, boom, off and running from there. And to me, having different people come on, having Ryan on was fantastic. Like,
I
it
was
was-
so shocked that his first console was the N64.
I was too.
I was so
Nobody-
shocked.
And I said that on the show to him. Nobody has ever said that to me before. It's either been the NES or the GameCube. Like that's normally, for some reason, it's weird, but that's normally the first consoles. Maybe you get like the Super Nintendo occasionally, but most people were NES or GameCube. And it basically always tells me the type of gamer that I'm dealing with. if they say NES, then I know like they're more like me. They've had like a long history with Nintendo, whatever. If they say GameCube, I realize they have horrible taste, and they're going to think that like all these games that are bad are amazing, and they're not.
All right, I'll take that. You know, I love the GameCube. I love the GameCube so much.
But that's the thing. It's your first. It's always your first console,
isn't it? Like.
Yes.
Yeah, and like experience, and like if someone's played a GameCube, they can probably relate to playing the DS more. And like whereas I grew up with like the old school consoles, but I played them on like the Game Boy SP and the ones that were just slightly more like developed, or they'd been like remastered or ported or whatever. So yeah, I completely agree.
Well, I guess what I mean by that is, for me, 2D Mario, I love. Right?
Yeah.
But your era, your generation is more brought up on 3D Mario.
Yeah.
And that's so
only just though, because the first Mario game that I played was Mario and the 6 Gold Coins. And that's the first one I ever played. But then after that, I didn't play anything for ages. And then I played 64 because my brothers had 64 and they kind of, took it out the cupboard and plugged it all back in, and then I got my GameCube and it was Sunshine, and so yeah, that is completely valid.
Because that's usually how it goes. Like NES, Super Nintendo are like this old school gamer and stuff like that, and that's what happens. Yeah. But also, what I've realized too is a lot of people that start with the GameCube usually have a big, infinite passion for Animal Crossing, because that's where Animal Crossing launched, and it's strange to me because I wasn't a gamer, like I wasn't really I was actually leaving the game sphere at the GameCube. Like that's when I hit that point, I was like, okay, Bobby, it's time to grow up, put games aside, you're done with them.
And here he is now.
And then I came, because you know what happened? As crazy it is, my ex-wife one day said to me, like, you love games, why are you not playing anymore? And I was like, I'm an adult. And she's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. She's like, if you love it, do it. And I was like, okay. So I started. So then I felt like it's acceptable to be. I think everybody goes through that time period where it's like, okay, I'm done. I got to grow up. Now, So for me, I wasn't around during that GameCube version of like Animal Crossing showing up in Nintendo Power and all that stuff. Like it was just, it's an amazing time. So
yeah. Definitely.
Do you guys have anything? I mean, well, we can talk about this too real quick before we wrap up. We just launched a couple of days ago Design Core.
Yeah.
The first episode. Well, you guys, I'm the guest. I'm the guest on the show. It ain't my show. But what are you guys excited about? Like this is listen, to me, this is the coolest thing ever, because I feel like in this thing that we're doing, in this community that we're doing, this is the first time that I feel a group of women are actually merging together and going like, we got this. We're going to do our own thing, our own series. Like you see, I see it anyway all the time with like all the guys that are creating are always collabing and doing stuff.
Yeah.
You don't see it in this thing where like 3 people that have their own channels are just like me and Pat joined in together. We did our thing for a little bit. Like me and Sean, we have separate things, but then we come together. You guys all have separate, but now you're coming together for this one thing. Like, talk about it. Tell.
It's really exciting. Like,
it's gonna be so good.
It's just, I think it was just like a snowball effect. It was kind of like I would suggest something, and then you guys were like, "Oh, let's do that." And then it was just like, then like Kate, you would suggest something, and we were like, "Yeah." And then Charlotte, you would suggest something, and then all of a sudden, it became this like community project.
Yeah, we had like a full like thing going off.
We had it was like 2 days of just like constant. Well, what if we do this? What if we do that? What if we have a random generator? What if we, and I don't know. I'm really excited, and I said this in the episode that we did. I'm trying to think of the time now, but the first time we did this like week roundup episode, and I said to you how I feel like I do struggle to kind of sort of get into other people's domains. I struggle to reach out to people. I feel like, you know, I feel like I'm a bit pathetic. But
Sure.
actually, I know I do. Honestly, I feel very nervous reaching out to people and being like, hey, do you want to do this thing that like I'm doing or like we're doing? So, but I'm getting better with it. So this is a really good way for me to like actually dip my toes in the water of being like you know, not just being on Breaking Bells and like doing this, but it's like also like being, you know, one of the leaders of something. That's really important to me. And just even better that it's 3 women, which I absolutely love. And
so good.
and I just feel like it's really fun because, you know, we do talk on a day-to-day basis. This isn't some weird like business thing or we all have to be really formal. Like we just chat about things and share pictures, and I just really love that. So, and I think we all have such different ways of designing things, you know, it's not like we all do the same thing. So yeah, I just think the future of this, you know, as we maybe get some more people on board and start doing these like community things, I don't know, I just think the sky's the limit with this.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what everybody else does. Like when we announce the topic and then the community post their pictures, I'm excited to see.
Yeah, and just to see what they took from, I don't know, it's just, I think there are like 2 types of people. There are people that they know what they want to achieve. They know what items they have to use. They know what items they have to turn around to achieve certain looks. And then there are some that like maybe might look at a build and just think, how do you know where to put what? Like, how do you just know that? But these kind of videos will show, well, I mean, not even, it will show different like takes on what we're doing, but then people in the community, it will show all different, like, I don't want to call them skill levels, but all different, you know, complexities that people are kind of creating these. And I think other people might be able to take smaller steps to becoming more, you know, complex designers than seeing, you know, like those drawing tutorials where it's like, this is how you draw an owl, and it's like you draw a circle and then you draw the owl. Like, I feel like sometimes it can feel a bit like that. And like, we all love our design, and sometimes I think, you know, and I'm sure you guys have had those messages as well, or comments where people are just like, how do you do that? How do you know how to do this? How to do that? So when we pulled together a community that have all different takes on a certain theme, all different complexities and all different creativity levels, like, I just think it closes the gap a little bit more because everyone's working to the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I really like the idea as well, like, because obviously we've all got kind of like themes or maybe kind of ideas that we would lean to because it's within our comfort zone, but as soon as we bring like random generators in, we're having to like push ourselves and everyone's getting involved, and we're gonna end up having to create some like really like crazy rooms. But I think it's gonna be like really exciting and see how everybody else does it, and it's gonna be so good.
I think that's the key to things, is getting out of your comfort zone. Is because when I was a kid, I used to draw all the time, and I literally used to draw Batman every single day. Every day I would draw Batman, and I remember this one day in particular, like, I drew Batman. I could, like, in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I could bang a picture out, copying it, like drawing a picture of whatever. And I used to take them to my dad because my dad could draw. And I'd be like, look at this. Look at this. And one night I did like 3 in a row, like within like an hour and a half period. And finally he's like, what is this crap? And I'm just like, what? And he's like, I don't want to see this no more. Don't bring me another picture of Batman that you copied off of something. He's like, you don't show me anything unless it's something that you created in your mind and you came up with. So I go in the other room and I'm devastated. Like, I'm crushed and I'm mad. And I'm like, who the F does this guy think he is? Who is he talking to like this?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And I sit down and I get so mad that I draw a picture of a character that I had tinkered with on my own, out of my own head.
Yeah.
Go in the other room and I show it to him and he looks at it and he goes, what's this? And I said, something I just created. He goes, good. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, I needed that snap to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And to start doing your own thing. So I feel like with the random generator, which you guys are talking about, like, obviously, like, Caito is going to be like, if it comes to cottagecore, she's going to be like, boom, all over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but like the fact of like she's not going to be able to do cottagecore anymore. Like you might get that random as that is, or something like that popped up. Like but like the fact that one, you're not outside, you've moved it inside, and then you're doing this random generator, which is like totally different. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with, and like for me, you know, the episodes are all up on our channels at this point of this thing.
Yeah.
So, but for me and my mindset, like I'm thinking outside the box already. Of like, I know, I can't even remember at this point. I can't remember. I know it's Kid something. Kid Arcade, is
Arcade.
it?
Kitty Arcade.
Kitty Arcade.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking like Kitty Arcade, blah, blah, blah. And I already have like ideas of what I want to do to accomplish that. But I think it's like, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, not only am I thinking like, what do? I think, what are these three jabronis going to do that I can beat them? Because that's my thing, is I want to beat them. So it's like, it's got to be different than what they're doing.
Yeah.
I apologize for using the word jabroni if anybody gets upset by that. It's not a bad word. It's just a joke. But like, you know, I don't think these ladies are jabronis. I think they're amazing. I think that like the thing is like, you know, you in my mind as a competitive person, I'm thinking, what's Caito and Charlotte and Holly going to do, and how do I make mine different but also better? And I think that's what's kind of cool about this is you're not just designing to design, you're also designing to go, what's the different flair that I can bring to this to make it stand out?
Well, I mean, like, think about, like, me and Kate. We both did a beach in the basement, and we were both like, we didn't actually reveal what we had done, or the theme that we had sort of done until, like, the day. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, we've both done a beach basement? Like, how was that? But they were so different. Mine was like a tropical, like Maldives kind of vibe, and yours was like a really lovely, like boardwalk, you know, really nice and like cottagecore-esque. And I was like, this is what it's about, you know? Exactly. And I just think, you know, I just think, and it's great as well because the community can get involved. So, you know, we pick our favorites and then it goes to a community vote. And it's just... I like it. Don't know, just constantly looking for ways to involve everyone, because I think for me personally, I want that divide between creator and viewer to be as like small as possible.
Sure.
Obviously to a certain point, of course, but I just think if we can get the community involved, then let's do it. Let's get them involved. Let's not just do this on our own. Let's get everyone involved. This is a fun thing, you know. It's meant to be fun and lighthearted and to draw inspiration and just have a good time with it, you know.
So before we wrap up today, I just want to do, because we have guests, I want to do it a little differently than we normally would wrap up on this thing. If you're not following Caito, please go check her out over on YouTube. It's youtube.com/ConsoleCaito, correct?
Correct.
Okay, you do have your URL. You're good to go there.
I do.
And then Charlotte, yours is Poke Crossing. It's all one word.
Yeah, all one word. Poké Crossings. You'll find me.
So youtube.com/Poke Crossing. But this is what I want to do before we wrap. We've never done 4 people in here before. We've never had return guests before. This is the first time with this iteration of the show. I want to say this. I want to say thank you to all 3 of you, and here's a reason why. I have had a rough couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Like things have been pretty personally rough between health and everything and all the nonsense. It's been rough, but you 3 have been really great with being supportive and just like offering words of encouragement and trying to keep my mind in the right place. And that means the world to me. And honestly, I feel like not did I just, you know, get people that were like contributors and people to work together. I feel like I, you know, obviously with Holly, I've had a friend for 3 years, you know, but like, I feel like I've earned or gained 2 other friends with Caito and Charlotte, and it means everything to me to have, like, I feel like the 4 of us are becoming really good friends along the line further down, and that truly means everything to me. So I want to thank you guys for that, but I also want to thank you for coming back, being on the show, and I want to encourage anybody, if you don't know who these 2 ladies are, please go find them. Please go check them out. They do amazing content. Charlotte, I feel like, is someone ripped me out and was like, here's a female version, and she's and she's British. Go. Like, the content she's producing, the amount of content, unreal. And like every day is different, you know what I mean? And then like I never thought that there was a second Emily in the world, but like Caito is like, as far as design goes, my God, like every time I watch a design video, I get floored on a daily basis just to be like, I can't even, like Carrie the other day came to me and was like, oh my God, Caito did this design and this is amazing. Like, I can't even believe this stuff. Like, so I think that both of these two ladies just do fantastic content, and I would love and encourage everybody to go check them out. So that's all said. That's done.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for letting us come back.
Of course. So, so that is all.
The technical difficulties.
You're always going to have them. That's going to be just a thing. So,
third time lucky, I reckon, Caito.
Third time lucky.
Yes.
Exactly. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.